kind of a spontaneous live stream. So yep, let's get live and let's get started, guys. So folks, welcome back to Box Mining. So this is a very spontaneous live stream, and the reasoning behind this obviously is I'm doing a lot of my research on the Coinbase listing, right? So this is happening today. Well, the next day if you're in America. So right now it's the 14th of April in Hong Kong right now. So roughly what's going to happen in later on this day, Coinbase is going to get listed on Nasdaq via a direct listing. So this is what's making all the news, and this is what's also explaining this explosion in price that we're seeing right now. Right, we got Bitcoin moving to $63,000. We got Ethereum up as well. It's pumping. Everything is pumping, guys. So 2.4K almost for Ethereum right here. So today's episode is going to be super focused. It's going to be focused on the Coinbase listing and some deeper analysis of what it means, because I felt that was what's lacking. Because I've trust me, I spent the entire morning, right, looking up like everything about this listing. And there's a lot of things that people don't talk about. So there's a few aspects that are not spoken, like what the investors, the original investors, are going to do once Coinbase lists. Hint, hint, they are very likely going to de-risk. All right, that means they're going to sell a little bit and buy a little bit of Bitcoin and other crypto assets. And there's a very good reasoning behind that too. So I'll talk a little bit about that and why this means it's really great for the whole cryptocurrency ecosystem. I mean, right now we're in this most explosive phase of this mad panic to buy exchange related coins because Coinbase is listing, because of that evaluation. Let me just put everything to perspective here. I think let me just find the article that put this into perspective in terms of the valuations here. Because Coinbase right now, why it's making some major headlines too, is because of the $100 billion plus valuation that's going on. So it's it is pretty damn massive in terms of what's happening. So so by contrast, so the ICE, Intercontinental Exchange, which is run by the New York Stock Exchange, has a market cap of $65 billion, and whilst Nasdaq has a market cap of $25 billion. So think about this. This is like Coinbase is massive, right? This blows people's minds. Like it's just simply it's like I think people who don't understand crypto will just think this is just total fluff, right? But what we've been consistently seeing is that these crypto markets are outperforming everything else out there, right? We've been seeing people, especially the younger generation demographic, they don't want to touch the overpriced property. They don't want to touch gold. Stocks, not as interesting, but crypto, that is what is hot right now, right? Crypto, NFTs, we got that fever pump going. We've seen Coinbase performing, drastically outperforming. If you saw Coinbase's Q1, right, they did a 10x on their revenue in the first quarter relative to last year. This is the growth of the whole cryptocurrency market right now. And this is why everyone is looking at crypto, but I think a lot of people don't understand. I think a lot of people, they're looking at Coinbase and they're trying to figure out, what's going to happen with the stock, right? I mean, at this current point, it's super, super crazy to speculate the stock of Coinbase because right now there's going to be both a lot of hype and a lot of FUD. But what's interesting is regardless of how Coinbase performs, right? Regardless of how Coinbase performs, crypto is going to perform well. I think that's the crazy part about this. So anyways, we're going to take a look about everything today. The market's a little bit insane. And just beyond insanity, I mean, if you even look at Binance Coin, right? Binance Coin right now has a market cap of $87 billion. So yeah, this is what's happening. So Coinbase fever is taking over. People are looking at all these exchanges. People are panicking about crypto, and I think this is just gonna start. There's and this is why I'm making the video today. So Anyways, let's do a quick analysis later, but let's talk a little bit about the Coinbase listing and the mechanics of that. So if you want a good indicator, so let's just start off. If you want a good indicator of what Coinbase is going to list at, so the best way to do it is via FTX. So right now, FTX has Coinbase. Okay, so this is a pre-trading CBSE, right? So this is the one way to find out what Coinbase is going to list at. It's an indicator, right? So CBSE has been trading on FTX for a while now. It's not identical to the Coinbase stock, but what happens is Coinbase's market cap divided by 250 million, right? So this is their pre-trading stock for Coinbase. And this has been trading for a while, and it's got price history, and there's volume trading on this. So this is not the official Coinbase stock. And what's going to happen on FTX is that at 2 p.m. HKT, they'll convert the C-Base on April 14th. So UTC, that's when they expect it to list. So Coinbase is going to list at a little bit more shares, all right? But this is a good indicator of what's happening. So anyways, this is an indicator of the market cap of Coinbase. So anyways, right now it's being traded, so you can definitely see that hype coin on the past few days. Like, it's just on a rocket ship up, right? So from all the way from April the 8th, it's just been taking off from 500 to around 600 right now. We kind of saw the peak fever of this roughly around 12 hours ago, shooting up to $600. So what does that mean for the market cap of Coinbase? So if you do a little bit of a math here, so this is the current value of Coinbase CBSE. So I'll put 589.1 over here, and you're going to multiply that by the shares, all right? And this is the market cap of Coinbase. So right now, the predicted, what FTX exchange people are trading on there, the traders there on FTX think is that Coinbase is going to be valued at $147 billion, right? This is just total insanity. This number is even bigger than what you have on CNBC. You know, CNBC is quoting $100 billion, but right now FTX traders are trading this at $147 billion evaluation. So this is like 3 times of that of ICE and whatnot. So there's just total insanity, right? So there's definitely a fever here, and what's going to happen is on the listing, this is going to be publicly traded on Nasdaq. It's a direct listing. It's not an IPO. It's a direct listing. It goes lists on there, boom, it's traded on exchange, and the expected time is, of course, today. Right, so April 14th is the expected time. Obviously, there could be some things in between. Sometimes, even if they smash the hammer, it might take an hour or so for it to be officially traded on Nasdaq. Sometimes things happen, but if all things go well, right, we're expecting Coinbase to hit Nasdaq floors, and we're going to see real traded Coinbase. We won't see this expected stuff. It's going to be live. Now, what's going to be interesting here is obviously, for me personally, I didn't invest in Coinbase. I wish I had. But what's going to happen here is I feel like why this is going to be huge for Bitcoin is because of the early investors in Coinbase, right? So if you did the research, you know that Coinbase had a lot of early investors like Andreessen Horowitz, Union Square Ventures, and even a lot of universities. So this is kind of interesting because I did some research around this. I mean, we saw articles on this earlier in a lot of newspapers, like the Harvard Endowment Fund, the Yale Endowment Fund. They've actually invested in Coinbase. They haven't disclosed how much investment. So very likely, very early on, when Coinbase was making its rounds, these big universities, right? So you guys kind of know, like, this was like basically means that's been passed around a few circles already. And even in the Coinbase annual report, they didn't name a single university. They know that university endowments got a mention, right? So what we know is they got a mention in the filings. Oh yeah, some universities have invested in us, but they didn't name names, right? This is the interesting part. So we're kind of guessing Harvard, Yale, etc. But what's interesting here is that they got in at lower evaluations, definitely not $100 billion. And they're going to be very likely making those 100x gains, right? This is where if you're an early investor into Coinbase, this is when you can cash out because the moment it gets listed on Nasdaq, there's going to be a lot of liquidity, right? It's going to be open to the public. People who want to invest in stocks, they can have exposure to your stock coin. This also means that this is a liquidity generation event for these people, which means that these funds have the opportunity to cash out either directly, and I think this is it depends on what the locks up are, but something that's quite important to remember is that during these liquidity events, right, when there's a huge amount of money being thrown at this and huge amount of trades, people can also sell their unlocked tokens too. This is something we've seen in crypto all the time. During these major key events, the moment it happens, there's going to be both OTC and contracts being signed for people with either locked tokens, unlocked tokens, and they can cash out. I think this is very important to remember. So this is a huge liquidity event for people who have or have been holding Coinbase, right? This is if they've been able to get their hands on Coinbase pre-market, they're going to be able to make some massive gains. I think it's beyond obvious at this current point. So why is this important? Why is this good for Bitcoin? It's because at this event, if people cash out, what are they going to buy, right? So you assume, right? So you assume. Let me draw this up for you guys here. So, all right. So you have your Union Square Ventures, Square. You have your universities, Uni. You have your Andreessen. Also, all these guys, they made massive gains, right? This is like very, very clear. And even if they say they cash out, say 10%, 20% off their Coinbase, right? If they cash out coin, because why not? I think at some certain point they'll almost be forced to cash some of it out, right? I just saw my video. I have this very stern look on my face. I just saw my video get frozen here. But anyways, let me continue. Let me just hide my face here. But yeah, what do you think they're gonna do, right? They're gonna cash out. They're gonna have to either keep that as USD, which they probably know USD is on a downward trend right now because of how much is being printed. What are they going to do, right? They've already got this interest, and what the rumor is, right? What the rumor is that they're going to go to BTC, all right? They're going to take some of that profit off coin, right? They've already made their 100x off coin, right? Why not go into BTC? So this is the key point. This is why it's good for Bitcoin. It's good for ETH. It's good for alts, because anyone that's invested. So these are the investors, investors. So these are the early investors of Coinbase. And sometimes, what happens with investment is a lot of traditional funds, they might not even know what they were doing. Right? Maybe some people helped them get into Coinbase. They saw that was hot. They saw this cryptocurrency exchange that was going to be up. They made an investment in Coinbase. They made these huge gains. Now with these huge gains, what are they going to do? Well, very likely they got their attention. They got the attention of their investors. They made some gains. Now they're going to take crypto very, very seriously. I think this is some key point to remember here, is that this is kind of like the Trojan horse. So that's the way to view Coinbase listing. It's the Trojan horse, right? It made people a lot of money, right? Now it's really entering Wall Street, and these Wall Street bankers are just like, okay, look, if they've already invested, they're gonna be partying like until the sun don't shine anymore, right? Because they just made so much money off Coinbase already. Like this evaluation at $140 billion, if that's gonna be what the projection is, then yeah, nobody lost money on Coinbase. Let's just say that. So they're gonna be partying, and all their peers who didn't invest, they're gonna be super jealous, right? That's just the way it is. So obviously that jealousy is going to lead to the fear of missing out. So this is what we've seen in the markets already, right? The markets have already responded with coins like Binance Coin, because Binance doesn't have an IPO, right? And Binance already stated they're not going to IPO. So all these other people who missed the boat, right? They're looking at the Coinbase investors who are partying and say, okay, I need to be on the next one. All right, they're going to go to the exchanges, sure, but also they're going to go into crypto because, right, crypto is where it's at. It's like this pretty much established where crypto is in the terms of the marketplace. If Coinbase did a shitty listing, obviously that was going to bring down the market, right? Because everyone's going to be, oh yeah, you guys are all losers, ha 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 ha. Look at your party, it sucks. But right now at $147 billion, no one's going to complain. So that's the current point. So this is already happening. I've already talked to people, and there are already like institutions are teaching Coinbase investors how to buy Bitcoin. All right, so this is already given. This is already what's happening. How do you sell your Coinbase and how do you buy Bitcoin? All right, if you're a family office, yeah, we'll teach you. We'll teach you. Here's how to do it. All right, so this is already a given. This is already happening, and this is what we're kind of seeing on the market right now. So the market movements, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're definitely responding to this. There's that influx of interest. Obviously, the growth has not been too exponential, right? It's not been too exponential. And one of the reasons why is that previously what we saw was that this is kind of priced in. People knew that this was happening. This is kind of priced in already. But because the listing is going out so well, because I think, this evaluation is freaking people out, right? If you look at these numbers I showed you here, it's beyond expectations. We're moving up even more at this current point. Now, the other side effect of this is because people have invested into Coinbase, right? Because quite a few groups, venture capital groups have invested into Coinbase. Now they're going to be much more active talking about it, right? Because I said, they're going to be partying about it. They're going to be going to be much more open about investing into Coinbase and investing in crypto, right? Because they've already made their gains. And also, like, if they've been exposed, they have to say good things about crypto. That's the kind of other thing, right? You kind of realize that a lot of funds, they stay very neutral, or they don't want to take reputation risk a lot of times. That's what we kind of saw in 2016, 2017 levels. A lot of funds were buying crypto, but they didn't want to have the immediate reputation risk, right? So they kind of just secretly bought up, stocked up. Even something like but this year, what we see is very different, is that these funds are coming out and say, oh yeah, we do own Bitcoin. We got Elon coming out and saying, yeah, I've been in Bitcoin for a while. Now, previously the Harvard Endowment Fund, Yale Endowment Fund, they're slowly coming out and say, yeah, actually we bought some Coinbase earlier and this shit is top notch. But they did this when, very early on. They did this 2016, 2017, when the whole world was shitting on Bitcoin. They didn't want to put their reputations on the line and say, yeah, actually, guys, they secretly just bought, and then just maybe they even shat on Bitcoin a little bit too. That's how the world works, right? But now that both mainstream media and of course Wall Street is just parading about crypto, they're coming out. So anyway, so that's kind of what's happening. That's what my take on it. Obviously, the growth is insane. I mean, if you look at the filings, if you look at the numbers, obviously Coinbase's Q1 was just massive, right? It like this year, the amount of trading on Coinbase, it grew by not just like a few percent, but it's like 10 times more trading in the first quarter, and expect that to increase, right? If as long as this market is riding out, Coinbase's profits, it's almost like a self-fulfilling it's like a self-going engine, right? Autocatalytic, right? Or like, I need to find a sexier word for it. It's self-perpetual engine. So the more Coinbase goes up, the more crypto goes up, because it kind of feeds on each other. And then the more crypto goes up, the more trading Coinbase has, and the more revenue they have, which means they go up even more, right? So we're having this feedback loop. Obviously, there is a bit of risk to this. So I'm not, I'm rolling back the moon boyism a bit, right? There is a risk. There's going to be at some point wherein these numbers keep going up to a point where someone's going to take profit, and we're going to start to see the start of a bear cycle, right? We saw a little bit earlier that some people are bearish. I think just before I started this chat, I was talking to Rob. Sorry to throw you out there, Rob Crypto, but he was a little bit bearish because he's just saying this activity is a little bit too frantic. But let me remind you, 2017, when things blew up, right? It was bananas, right? Like the last bull run was just total insanity. Like there were like 2-3 weeks during that bull run where things not just like doubled, but like 4 to 6x in the space of a week or two. Right? That was the total insanity that we had, and this is something that I'm expecting to see yet again. Right? This is why I'm so bullish. Obviously you got to think of an exit strategy, but at this current point, I feel like we're still early on. Like if you look at the rainbow chart is something that I always see, the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Like I feel like um like we're here. We're at the orange level. Yeah, we do definitely see some of that heat, but we definitely don't see some of that insanity. And you definitely see that insanity, right? Like look at the bubble territory in 2017, right? Like that increase from 7,000 to 19,000. That's gonna be an explosion we're gonna see. And I think this chart is actually playing it safe, right? Like if we see that explosion to like say 140,000 for Bitcoin, I think it can go up beyond that too. This is the crazy part, because this year I feel like the setup for this year is just absolutely insane. Not just Bitcoin going up, but the whole world market going down. Right, whether you're talking about what's happening with the Turkish lira, what's happening with like the money printing that's going on in the States. Yeah. So it's a combination of these two factors. So I feel like, yes, we definitely seen some explosive growth for Bitcoin, but I don't think we've seen the insanity yet at all whatsoever. So anyway, as we speak right now, Coinbase just shot up again to 600 on FTX. So that's kind of the insanity. That's kind of my take on it. Obviously, following this, there'll be ETFs, there'll be more institutional interest, and also, of course, there's going to be a lot more interest in the entire space overall, because there's already been major gains on both Coinbase and on Bitcoin. A lot of funds will look to diversify their assets, right? That's just a given right now. So if you look at the time scale, going from crypto is a total scam, it's a bubble, it's going to go to zero in 2017. I mean, that was kind of the narrative. 2012 was even worse. But going to that this year, Bitcoin being a store of value, that's kind of the narrative coming in, that this is an asset class people should look at. Now it's becoming, okay, look, what's beyond that, right? Even institutional investors are going, what's beyond this? And something that we've been seeing is that crypto VCs are just massively growing as well. Right, so dedicated crypto funds. I mean, you've obviously, guys, the big names are just like they're through the roof right now. Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z, and also Union Square Ventures. They just blew up, right? So now there's more and more family offices either starting up their own crypto investment arm, or we're gonna see more crypto VCs, and they need to expand beyond just Bitcoin. Right. This is why this whole entire market, this whole altcoin season is just kind of exploding right now. You just see just green everywhere. Right. So yeah, so very, very bullish. Obviously, I've contained my risk. So I think it's kind of important to realize that um, you know, um, risk management is important. This is not financial advice. And the reason why a lot of people fail is because they fail at risk management, right? They get super excited, they buy one thing and then they hope it goes well. But then, sometimes this market can have some severe turbulence, right? And you can kind of see that happening with funding rates. So we'll just take a look at these funding rates. So what are funding rates? Funding rates are rates that traders, like leverage traders, have to pay, right? These are, if it's positive, then it costs roughly for Bitcoin almost 0.08% every 8 hours to hold a leverage long position. And the way crypto futures works is that the more traders buying longs, the more traders that feel that the number is going to go up, that Bitcoin's going to go up, the larger the funding rates are. So this is why it's kind of interesting to look at these perpetual future funding rates. You can get a big indicator of what the top traders, the big traders, the whale traders are, what positions they are taking and in which direction they're taking it, right? So the more green something is, the more bullish they feel. So obviously right now, if you can look at the alts, some of these funding rates are insane. I mean, if you look at BNB, you're paying 0.4% every 8 hours. So every day, you're going to be paying around 1.2% to keep that position alive. So people are willing to pay that funding rate. And this goes straight, not to the exchange, but straight to the short holders. So people, it's like heavily promoting people to short these coins right now, but people are unwilling to do so. Right. So this is both good and a bad sign. All right. So why is it a good sign? It means that the top traders are extremely bullish. They want to leverage. They want to take that long position. They think that the market is going up, and there's a imbalance. The people who think it's going to go up are much greater than the people who think it's going to go down. But that being said, of course, leverage is also dangerous for this market too, because there comes to be a situation when Bitcoin does drop and people who have leverage positions, if they are over leveraged, right? And we've seen this happen many times before. If they're like, say, 100% leveraged, if Bitcoin goes down by just 1%, their position is going to be liquidated. Right, and this liquidation is automatic. It's just like, it's a snap of a fingers, bam. The exchange doesn't even call you, right? People think, oh, this is a margin call. No one calls you, right? The exchange just takes your position and just sells it on the market, right? Which causes sell pressure. So this is why in a lot of times in crypto, we have these huge spikes, right? These huge spikes of price movement, both up and down. It's because of large liquidations, right? I think I don't really need to show you guys that, but this explains why we have these sudden, these Barth Simpson movements, what people call that, etc. That's why there's such insane movements, because of the amount of leverage we have here. So yeah, be pretty sure that there is a lot of leverage on this market right now. So expect a lot of volatility. I think that's what a lot of traders don't have. Like if they're over leveraged in this situation, I think that's not wise either. I'm not taking too many leverage positions. I just hold. It makes more sense for me to do so. So at this current point, we just broke out of this major resistance that we saw. This is why it's such an exciting time for both Bitcoin and for Ethereum. It's just total insanity at this current point. So yeah, so we have this breakout happening. We're going to see some major action. I mean, the moment it goes live. So right now, obviously, we're still a few hours from this going live. America's going to go sleep, and then they're going to wake up to the news, what Coinbase's listing price will be. So we have these predictors up here. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm pretty excited. That's pretty much my take on what's happening going on. I definitely feel that overall, the two biggest factors here are that funds that have already invested into Coinbase, they're going to de-risk, they're going to sell, and they're very likely going to invest both back into crypto or into other exchanges to just kind of pile in more money, roll in that more money, right? And the other reason is that now it's much more kosher to talk about crypto in Wall Street. That means that other institutional investors are much more willing to go in because they've already seen these solid gains. They've already seen their peers cash out those gains, massive gains. That's where the fear of missing out really comes in. So I definitely think the rainbow chart, you guys see me referring to the rainbow chart a lot, but rainbow chart of FOMO does actually work, and I think that's kind of what's happening at this point. And even I see a lot of people means across Canada says, no, I'm awake. I think a lot of people won't even sleep tonight in that case. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, I wanted to keep this episode short, guys, today. So that's all I wanted to talk about Coinbase and what's happening. I just want to fill in a few more things about what's happening today. So the other thing I'm keeping my eyes on today is Genesis charts. They're doing the pre-IDO today, so that's popping up. TrustSwap, there's a new video that's launching very soon. That just finished up that video, and there's also another flash launch coming onto TrustSwap, which is more DeFi is coming up on the TrustSwap launchpad. And the other big thing is on Ethereum. Ethereum is going to do a network update very soon. So I didn't have the article here, but okay. Berlin hard fork, what's happening? So that's also going to happen today. Nothing too much is serious is going to happen. All right. So there's nothing you need to do, but I just want to just make you guys aware that the Berlin hard fork is going to happen today. And I think a lot of people are probably going to freak out, Uh, you're not gonna double your ETH. All your ETH is gonna stay the same. It's really a back end change, and there's a gas structure change as well. So there's this expectation that you might have to pay a little bit more for gas. That's not fully confirmed yet, but that's a possibility. Certain operations are going to cost a little bit more in terms of gas costs. So anyways, the best one, yet again, just look at the Berlin hard fork explain like I'm 5 explanation of it. There's going to be tons of scams like going around this. It's going to be insane. Yeah, that's going to be happening. Also, Black Film Guild says BNB will burn tokens tomorrow. So I think that's what a lot of people are looking forward to. And then we got Christopher Abbott. Thank you for telling people to smash the likes or be beaten. That is like, dude, smash up the likes, guys. We have how many people here? We have 700 people watching. Come on, guys. Let's do 200 likes on this video. If it gives you information and intel that you don't see on other channels, just smash up those likes. It's the least that you can do. All right, cool. Ali Smith Hernandez says, what other coins do you think they'll jump into? So a lot of people are asking me about what cycle is next. I actually think the DeFi cycle is coming back again. Looking at just how much DeFi has changed, it's one of the big pillars of crypto already. I feel like the last cycle that we saw was very heavily driven on non-fungible tokens, those NFTs. Those are getting super hot. But I think DeFi is going to come back in another big cycle because of just how much the whole network has achieved, right? So I'm looking quite aggressively into DeFi products right now. I saw Ali Smith Hernandez talk about Alliance Block. I've actually have a scheduled interview with the folks at Alliance Block. I did make an investment recently, even though the coin has gone up like crazy amounts, right? I'm like, you know what? These guys are doing some crazy stuff. Why not talk? Why not both invest and then talk and then research? Like, go deep into that, right? That especially people who have experience in traditional finance, which is what the CEO has, like a lot of experience in traditional finance, get their take on everything that's happening. So yeah, expect more to be there. And then someone, Kuzi says CyberFi will be crazy. I'm still holding CyberFi, and it's been an insane ride. Like, I've been holding it since like what, $3, $4. Now it's like a 40. This place is just absolutely insane, guys. So stay safe, folks. Hope everything goes well, and we'll see you guys very soon. So across Canada, says 500 people watching. We have 700 on here. That's what I see. So smash up those likes. So thank you guys for the likes. I just saw 80 something likes pop in. We just had a almost an 80% increase in the number of likes, guys. Thank you guys so much for this. We got Doan R6 is ADA FTW. I'm getting a lot more exposure. Like, I just drastically increased my exposure to a lot of other coins too, including ADA. Why not? This market is absolutely insane. So anyways, we'll talk a little bit more. I just saw some like videos. Like, I saw Rand Neuner actually do a video on his portfolio. And in fact, I'm actually going to do a stream with Rand tonight. So if you guys want to catch me on there, you guys probably know I'm producing a lot more content now. I'm just like ramping up everything. So I'm going to be on Crypto Banter tonight. So Crypto Banter. So yeah, see you guys there. I mean, this guy, I love it. Anyways, guys, I love this funny faces. It's this YouTube thing. I need to get back on this like crazy faces on YouTube things going on. I think that's what people love, right? So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys on Crypto Banter if you guys want to find me there. If not, there's next stream coming on Friday. More videos coming up as well. Last video was super cool. The one on XFi. So yeah, check that out. Yeah, see you guys next stream. Cheers. Bye. Peace. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the box mining ecosystem. First and foremost, if you guys like listening to all that's happening in crypto on the go, then I would highly recommend you checking out the Box Mining Bitcoin Out of the Box podcast. And the reason why it's called Bitcoin Out of the Box is because we have long interview segments very much exploring the detail of the newest and latest of what's going on in this whole cryptocurrency space. Whole idea of it is to bridge that gap between knowledge privileged institutional investors and the rest of us here in this space. Now, with the podcast, it's on everything. So it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify. Just search it anywhere, Bitcoin out of the box. So just add that onto a playlist and then just follow the new episodes when it's released. Next up, we also have the box mining newsletter. So this happens roughly bi-weekly. We give you an update of the latest that's going on in a very summarized, condensed format. So this is perfect for anyone that wants an overview of the market. Say, for example, what's happening with OKX, the biggest event, or maybe the little things like what's happening with different coins and overall the trend. So what I use the newsletter for personally myself is to understand what kind of phase we're in crypto, to kind of get in tune. So if you don't read crypto every day, the newsletter is perfect for you. Last but not least, in the link down below, if you're a Telegram user, we have the box mining announcements channel. So this is to announce to you basically what's the latest videos coming up, but also we have a daily update, a community-driven daily update to provide you an idea of the latest updates on a day. And a lot of people have been using that to get informed of the crazy amounts of trends that we see. And I have to give a big thank you for Claudio, our community member, for doing this. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely want to give you a shout out there, Claudio, as well for that. And taking us to the end of the live stream, so make sure, number one, you click like and subscribe on this video because it really does help this channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast. It's one of the best ways to know a little bit more, to extend that knowledge, especially in your spare time. And then, of course, check out the newsletter. If you're, if you want those updates and summaries and trends, newsletter is the place for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.